So in today's education news, are we heading for our own version of the post office scandal? In the Observer yesterday, the headline, Ofsted inspectors are making up evidence about a school's performance when the IT fails. Ofsted inspectors are being forced to make up evidence because the computer system they use to record inspections sometimes crashes, wiping all the data. So since the new inspection framework, inspectors make live notes on laptops, tablets, as the interview observe, using this EEG sort of technology. And of course, because the Ofsted inspectors, most of them never worked in a primary school, they don't know the age-old way of sorting this technology out, which is to simply, turn it off and turn it back on again. I jest, but the fact that since it's been implemented, it will crash unexpectedly, losing all the notes or even whole days of evidence. So inspectors have to do that from memory without even telling the school, I think is absolutely scandalous. And it's just one thing after another with these charlatans, Ofsted. I don't know how this new guy's going to keep up with it all. The amount of stuff he's going to have to try and fix. And now he's saying he's initiating a rapid review to make sure this sort of technology is robust. And as always, Ofsted try and back themselves up to make sure they're never held accountable, saying that, well, all the judgments, even if it does fail, are backed up with sufficient evidence, which we know as teachers won't be the case. But it then goes on to interview some of the inspectors who said you might be in the middle of a meeting with a school, suddenly lose all your evidence, but what they're being told by Ofsted is not to let on. Keep an inscrutable face. And then he goes on to say he recalled sitting in a hotel trying to input a day's evidence after the system shut down and lost everything. You're exhausted because the inspection day is so long and non-stop. Oh, my heart really does go out to that inspector. But listen, you chose to work for a regulation body who are pretty much single-handedly the main cause for the retention, workload and well-being crisis. That's your choice. But wait, I'm going to change it from the inside. You can't. Not when the system needs complete reform. You are part of the problem. Once colleagues at headquarters wanted to do a rigorous check on an outstanding grade he'd just given a school. They were asking for evidence that just wasn't there. There's been a lot of covering up. Well, first of all, I wonder if they do a rigorous check when it's an inadequate school or just take that for word, but outstanding, we best check it. But this is the thing. If the Ofsted grading didn't have such huge implications on people's livelihoods, this wouldn't be that big a story. But it's people's jobs on the line. Now imagine you're a head teacher of a school and you're going above and beyond just to keep that school going in a broken education system because of the chronic underfunding thanks to the government. You're constantly trying to cover every corner because you know Ofsted in itself is so inconsistent. You are trying your best to just support these children who are not getting support with any other public sector because it's just been decimated through austerity measures. You then get an Ofsted inspection by one of these rogue inspectors who says one thing to you, and then when it comes to the report, it looks like a complete work of fiction. You're graded inadequate, your job's on the line, or your job's gone because it's now being taken over on a mat. And then you read this to find out it's because the system just crashed and you weren't allowed to know. No one could tell you because they've got to keep face. They go on to share other examples. I know for a fact that there are senior leaders in Ofsted who know about these problems. It's like they've watched that post office scandal drama with Alan Bates and gone, oh, hold my beer. The problem with this is the complaints procedure is a shambles anyway. So even if you felt you have been hard done to, the report doesn't reflect the experience of the inspection, you had an inkling that something wasn't right with the IT system, there's nothing you can do. The complaint procedure means there's no way a school can ever take on Ofsted. And in that in itself is a huge problem. I just don't know where Ofsted go from here. I've said it once. If I've said it once, I've said it a million times. The best thing Ofsted could do at this point, given everything they've done over the past couple of years, is deep dive into a bin.